You're stepping on like the top of the
And
bass,
there's a
below
pedal steel
the
coming.
acoustic, and then
Carl, put the headphones on and I'm gonna write this idea down.
I love the headphone volume too.
Sorry, dude, I can't hear you.
No, it's great. It's just awesome when you two both have the headphones on. You're just like, fuck yeah, man! Like, it's gonna be so awesome, dude. I'm so excited. I love it.
All right.
Okay, so I say we use this pre-programmed loop just for this little section.
Yeah.
And then when I go like this is when real drums and shit will come in, okay?
Okay.
So everything will drop out. And we'll use this
I
little
don't
loop
really
for this.
love to record. I like the tail end of the recording process when everything's starting to come together. But really, Carl and I just have a really special flow where, because he's so proficient in the things that he does, as far as engineering and tracking, and he really allows me to stay in the creative space of like, well, I want it to sound like this, and I want this to go here and this to go here. Like that? Yes, exactly like that. And he's like, cool, next.
I love working with Drew because the language that we have is, it almost doesn't need to be spoken. It's just like, I'm thinking, like, he could be like, I'm thinking this. Like, there's something about knowing him for as long as I have that I kind of know where he's going with it. You know, or even just him talking about a vibe of a song or how he thinks it should sound, and then being able to steer that boat a little bit, you know, help him in that regard.
With the highest register part coming, all the shit.
Yes.
Got it.
Yep. And then yeah, we'll do a shaker track for that one little section before everything even drops out further.
Perfect.
Yeah. Do you got that, or should I write it down?
Write it down.
I appreciate your honesty.
He's gone from being a guy that's like, oh yeah, dude, if you need a solid EP, Carl knows how to do all the things to make you a solid EP. And Culture, I was like, when we made Culture, I was like, okay, cool, he's starting to like, he's leveled up. But now I believe that Carl, secondary to Satsang, has everything he needs to be a legitimate producer engineer. Just knowledge of software and gear and, you know, just everything you need to make a record. Like, I think he is now at the level where he can work with anybody at any level. You know, like, he's a legitimate fucking engineer and producer.
All right, buddy. What do you think?
I think that's pretty much as good as I'm gonna do it right now.
Yeah.
When Drew put me on,
It was good.
and took me on as, you know, as a band member, and then also as someone to work with in a creative and kind of recording aspect, I think that was like a step that needed to be made in his musical career. And I think I played a big part in that movement. And then I think, you know, that we just carried that momentum as we just took on Ben and Stefan and added other elements to help kind of develop that even further, you know, because every person kind of brings a different element to the group. I think that's kind of what Drew's really cultivated in everybody is, you know, everybody offers something different. It's, no one's really we overlap, but the roles are pretty defined, you know. And naturally, it's not like I got called in and it's like, you're gonna be this. It was kind of like, well, we kind of know where you're gonna fall into, so we're gonna see how that plays out. And then the friendship was there just because, you know, like, he's who I'd call if I had something cool to do and did something cool. I'd be like, hey, I gotta share this with you. And I think vice versa, you know. He said that on multiple occasions. Just, if you weren't with me to do this, you're the person I'd call to tell you about it. So the fact that I get to do it with him is pretty special.
It's just so weird, dude, watching my best friend go from, you know, recording Story of You with me in this little office where he's just like, yeah, dude, I'll put the mic in front of your guitar and then you play your guitar, to like having a fucking tape measure out and like, no, this needs to be 64 inches from the snare, and just like, he's just a fucking professional engineer and producer now, and he just knows so much, dude, and he's put in so much effort to learn, and for me, that's been like the coolest thing is like Carl and I's relationship has always been where he's been the one that kind of interfaces with the machines and allows me to just be the floaty music one that's just like, well, I want it to sound like this and this and this, and then he's like, cool, I know how to make that real.
For me, every single part of recording is fun, man. The miking, the capturing it, the doing takes. I could sit here all day for 12 hours every day and or just work in the kitchen and with headphones on for another 6 hours after doing it for 8 hours. And it's just, for me, it's just, I love it. My favorite part as a whole is listening back and seeing where it started and then seeing how far you've taken it and knowing that, you know, you played a big part in that journey, but also just being surprised by it too. Now we've hit something deeper and broader and a little bit more universal in his writing. I think now he's stepped into his full potential as a songwriter, like writing really universal, real songs with deep meanings. And I think he's found himself in that regard. And I think this is the first entrance, the first wave of that. You know, it's gonna keep going, it's gonna keep developing, but it's really awesome to be part of that.
Yeah, he's the best. He's the best dude ever. The GOAT.